So welcome back, y'all. So this is going to be part 2 of my Livescope series that I've been doing, and we're going to concentrate on the settings today. Once we get the settings down, then we're going to actually go find some brush, find some fish. I'll show you what you're kind of looking at on the screen. But this is going to be settings. You know, a lot of talk about settings. So this is what I've done here is I've restored my factory default settings on my unit here. I want to throw the camera up and I want to show you exactly what I would do to start off with. Like I said, I've been playing around with this Livescope. I've had it since March of 2018, so you know, I've had a good minute to run around with it and experience. I've got, you know, several hundred hours, 800-900 hours on this unit. So anyway, let's jump right into it. I'll show you my settings to start off with, and we'll go from there. Alright, so first things first, we've got our unit, and all I've done is just restored the factory settings. I'll go to the home page here, and we'll just go to Livescope, and that's what you're seeing right there. It comes in a color palette of this amber color to start off with. So let's just go into the menu, and I'll show you exactly what we want to do here. So, first thing, we're going to go to gain. And what I want to do is, I want to take that gain off of auto. I want to drop it down. I like to run mine somewhere around 53, 54. You know, you can kind of tweak it depending on your water, but that's where we start that. Depth range. This is a big one, guys. We want to take that, and you can see we're in 17 feet of water. We want to take it off of auto. So I'm just going to turn the dial here. We're going to take it down to just about a foot below. We're going to use up all our screen. And then we're going to set that. Now this is a setting that you're going to change constantly, depending on the depth of water. You're always going to be adjusting the depth, so you never want to have that on auto. Forward range is the same way. We're going to adjust that forward range. We're going to take it off of auto, and we're just going to for now we'll go here, you know, somewhere around 30 feet or so. And then it'll default down after you set that, and it'll default into 10-foot increments, which is where I just keep mine. Okay, sonar setup. Let's go to the appearance here. The color scheme. Now I prefer this black emerald color. I find it shows up about the best in the sunlight. It's kind of a green color. We're gonna go down to color gain. Once again, I like to keep that about 50, 58, 56. This will change with daylight. You know, that's something you're going to be able to change throughout the day. Okay, so that's appearance. Bottom fill off, grid overlay. I prefer the grid overlay. You can take it off. There's it right there with it shown off. I like to keep it because it just gives me an idea. You'll be able to learn the size of fish by using the grid. We'll talk about that in another video, but anyway, those are the basic settings there. Okay, noise reject. Noise reject, I like to keep low. Now with the new update, we have a ghost reject. I like to keep that off unless, you know, you have real muddy water and it gets real bad. But basically with the ghost reject, you can see it'll change the processor speed a little bit, kind of slows everything down. I don't like that, so we're going to keep that off. The TVG, I'm going to set to low. You can see that just takes away all that noise a little bit. And then you can set your data overlay to whatever. That is about it, guys. That is about it. You can see we're in 16 feet of water here. I can adjust this just with this knob. That is about it. Those are the basic settings that I use for my Livescope. So now that you've got your Livescope, now that you got it bought, you picked your head unit, everything else, now you have to figure out how exactly you want to mount this transducer. So there's a couple different ways. You know, obviously if you're using it for crappie fish and bass fish and things of that nature, you're not going to mount it to the transom. You know, you're going to mount it in the front of the boat. So there's a couple different ways. You can obviously mount it to your trolling motor shaft, or you can mount it to a separate pole off the side of the boat. You know, there's a lot of manufacturers. I'll list some down below if you want to check them out. But anyway, you need to make that decision right now. here's my personal experience for you guys. I'm fortunate enough, I actually have 2 transducers in my boat. I have one on a pole and I have one on the trolling motor, and I want to explain why. First off, if you're just starting out, I would suggest putting the transducer on the trolling motor. First off, you don't have to buy any poles separate, so you know that's an additional cost that you won't have to fork over initially. As well as, in my personal opinion, having the transducer on the trolling motor makes Livescope much more versatile rather than having it on a separate pole. You can see the head of the unit up there moving, and basically what that's doing is that's moving that transducer wherever that trolling motor head's pointed. So it basically turns it into a remote controlled transducer. Now this is very important because, you know, with this Livescope you now have the capability to chase down individual fish. So by having the transducer on the trolling motor, you're essentially hands-free. You know, you're not sitting there messing with a pole. I also find it's easier to kind of chase fish if you're not worried about driving the boat as well as running the pole and everything else. So for starting out, I suggest just try it out on the trolling motor shaft. I think you will find it is more versatile. Now, here's where you know, the poles come into effect. If you're a crappie guy and you use the anchor feature, the spot lock on your trolling motor, and you want to spot lock maybe in a river situation or just over brush piles in general, this is where the transducer on the trolling motor kind of has a hiccup, because what happens is as that trolling motor uses spot lock, it's going to naturally turn, and so you're going to lose your image on your transducer whenever your trolling motor turns. This is where the pole comes in handy, because if you have a pole that your transducer is mounted to, you can spot lock with your trolling motor. It can be doing its thing up there, and then you can use the separate pole to stay on that said brush pile or ledge or something like that. Like I said, it's something that you have to decide, basically just kind of according to how you fish. You know, I still prefer the trolling motor, or the transducer rather, on the trolling motor shaft. I still think you are more versatile, but as I said, there's a reason I've got a second transducer. On those windy days in the wintertime, it's so nice to hit spot lock and just have that pole there. All right guys, so I think that covers this video here. We covered some settings and we covered mounting options here. Now let's go find some brush, let's go find some fish, and we'll actually show you what this Livescope is really all about. It can truly be a game changer to the way you fish, and I think you guys will enjoy it. So anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, do me a favor, leave me a comment, hit that like button, it really helps. If you're new to the channel, definitely hit that subscribe button, and be sure to hit that bell too, so then you guys will be notified whenever I upload another video like this. Be sure to check out all our videos, all our playlists. We do a lot of different reviews, fishing, we do just a lot of different stuff on this channel. As always guys, I appreciate the view, and we'll see you next time.